Hey friends, my name's Stevie Taylor. Welcome to the Gig Life Podcast. My guest today is Dauno Martinez. I sat down with this incredibly talented multi-instrumentalist and virtuoso, and we talked music, instruments, art, people, and a bit of philosophy. For me, it was more of a music and history lesson than it was an interview, to be honest. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Again, I hope you do too. Cheers. I think we're rolling. Dauno Martinez.
What's up, man?
Hey man, welcome to the Gig Life Podcast.
Thank you very much.
No worries. Yeah, mate, that was bloody awesome. Tell us about that guitar you got there.
I can't remember the brand of it.
Yeah.
Well, it says it right there. Veilete.
Uh-huh.
Veilete. So the guy must be Italian.
Yeah.
Italians, guys, they're amazing people.
Yeah.
They make incredible stuff.
Yeah.
And they're very hardworking.
Yep.
Very proud of what they do.
Yep.
I really admire the Italian people. And so I think he must be Italian, but the guitar's from New York.
Right.
And
Did you get it from New York?
No.
Oh yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I bought it off a good friend of mine from here. His name's Leon Gare, and he's originally from Los Angeles. He was back in his youth. He did a lot of stuff, a lot of very important recordings, and he's been living here for quite some time. And he's an incredible musician, incredible bass player. So I bought it off him, and I fell in love with the instrument. It's just beautiful. Yeah, so I guess we should. What are we talking about?
We're talking about you, man. We're talking about you. You strike me as someone who's not too far away from an instrument.
No.
The fact that you walked in here with that guitar, I wasn't expecting that, and that show you just gave us that playing's incredible.
Thank you very much.
No, thank you. That's awesome.
No, you're welcome.
Yeah.
And, the guitar's always been a big part of my life and life at home.
Yep.
It hasn't been the instrument of choice, you could say. I guess it's been the instrument that's been there.
Yep.
I'm Chilean born.
Yep.
So in Chile, the guitar is a big deal. The guitar is a big deal in Chile. It's kind of like in Spain.
Yep.
The Chilean people are, more or less Spanish, more or less.
Yep.
They're like Spanish people that live in Chile with a mix. I'm not going to get into all that because then I'll get angry.
That's a whole other podcast.
That's another podcast, man. That's something else.
Yeah.
But something else. I'm not against nobody or nothing. Nothing like that. It's not about not that kind of angry. It's not about that.
Yeah.
I'm very happy with the way things are in life.
Yeah. Beautiful.
But the guitar in itself, my father's a guitarist. My father studied.
Yep.
He's a guitar player.
Victor, yes.
Victor
Yes.
Martinez Parada. That's his professional name back home.
Yep.
He did a lot of stuff.
Yep.
He started playing when he was 19. And he was a natural. Very, very hard-working, very dedicated. So I think by his first year, he did a complete concert
Wow.
after learning guitar for 1 year.
Wow.
That's exceptional. Classical
Yeah.
music.
Classical
concert.
music, right.
Classical music concert. So he was an exceptional talent,
Yeah.
exceptional musician, and hardworking, extremely hardworking, completely 100% dedicated to the guitar, and transcribing and writing music and all that stuff. So that's the kind of environment that I grew up in. We grew up with great music. We grew up with classical music, great classical music. We grew up with great folkloric Chilean music. He worked with the greatest musicians back home. He's also an arranger, composer, and all that stuff. And seemingly, I became an arranger and composer as well, and teacher. So I got to see a lot of concerts that he did back home, and the guitar
Sorry,
was
can I ask when you came to Australia?
1989.
89, and how old were you then?
I was nearly 10 years old.
Okay.
Nearly 10 years old. I was born in 79.
Yep.
During Chile, there was lots of music, and we got to see a lot of concerts. But the guitar was something that it was very hard to play for me because my hands weren't strong enough. I was a kid, just a boy. So actually, my first I guess introduction to the guitar was watching my father. I think he was practicing or something, or maybe warming up or whatever he was doing. But I saw him playing directly in front of me with the guitar pointing the opposite direction to me. You see what I'm saying? So I thought that was the correct way of holding.
Right, okay.
So I tried to pick it up and I went that way.
Yeah.
It was completely different.
Right.
I think it was either me or him that taught me, but I think it was me that realized that maybe the other way is better.
Right.
Yeah.
So he didn't notice.
That's all I did.
Yeah.
As a kid, that's all you do. And maybe your left hand a bit of something, and your right hand a bit of something.
The same with me on this actual guitar actually.
Right.
Yeah.
Right, there you go.
It's the same sort of thing. Yeah.
So that was my initiation, but then he told me that I should learn this.
Beautiful.
So he taught me that, and with a variation, of course. And then, holy shit, I got to change the string now. Oh God, cramp! Oh, it was, and it was so hard on my left hand, and the technique from the right hand was something that he picked up from a friend of his, an incredible singer, musician that he used to work with a lot, and he said that he's the only guitar player at the time, anywhere that he ever saw, that did that with not using a pick, but using his palm and the finger to
muffle it up,
do that sound. So I learned that. He taught me that. He said that every good musician needs to know how to play the blues. So all right, kind of kept that in my head.
And had you heard blues music before?
Oh no, nothing. I was a kid. Imagine,
Yep.
But
in sorry, just in Chile, with the music that your father was playing, was he listening to blues?
No. Well, let me get to that.
Yeah.
Let me get to that.
Okay.
See, during that time, he was working with this guy, blah, 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 blah. He had friends, this and that. I think a student of his or a friend of his, back then in those years, introduced him to John McLaughlin and the Mahavishnu Orchestra.
Yeah.
And when that happened, I think from memory, he said he heard it, and he went, "What the hell's this thing?" Put it down. And then he heard it again, a second time, put it on. Because back then he was a classical music head. Imagine one of those,
Yeah.
from
That's
that
your Billy Cobham going.
Billy Cobham going, all that stuff,
Yeah.
and Mahavishnu with the tight, extremely tight chops and metal guitar, strong, the John McLaughlin that we were blown away by, which we continue to get blown away by his creativity and all that for now. But then I believe it was the live recording of Sister Andrea. And he said that when he heard that, he teared up, he cried, because he couldn't believe that the guitar could do that. Now, of course, by that time, obviously, Jimi Hendrix was around, everybody was aware of that stuff, and the Beatles and all that music, he loved all that, but nothing to the sheer velocity and aggressiveness of John McLaughlin and the Mahavishnu Orchestra. And from then on, it lingered on to, obviously Return to Forever, Miles Davis, Jean-Luc Ponty, and guess what? That's all the stuff I grew up listening to. So that was my childhood music. The hardest hitting, most brutal music you could ask anyone to listen to, and Bartok and all those greats. So that was the environment I grew up with, and as the 80s came on, obviously, Michael Jackson, Madonna, and all this great pop, because the 80s had good pop music. And I fell in love with the whole electronic thing. Electric bass kicked in for me because...
Who was the first bass player?
Well, see, I fell in love with Jean-Luc Ponty's music first, I think, as far as the jazz world. Because I recall hearing, as a child, I recall listening to Jean-Luc Ponty. I can't remember what piece of music it was, but it was Jean-Luc Ponty. It was Jean-Luc Ponty, and I didn't understand anything that was happening. But I knew I liked it, and I liked the complex harmony. I enjoyed the sound that created it. That wasn't anywhere else. So I went crazy about it. I started learning how to solo like them. And I started learning the bass lines. So Ralph Armstrong, that was his bass player back then. So I grew up learning how to play like him. Ralph Armstrong, I used to practice, and I used to practice to Stanley Clarke with the Return to Forever. And of course his album School Days and all that stuff. So I grew up with that, practicing along to those guys. That's how I learned to play, basically, because that gave me I wanted to be like them, you see. And then obviously Alan Holdsworth, who just like, what? What? What's he doing? And so I grew up with that stuff. That was the stuff that I really enjoyed, and the great musical lessons that you get out of that music. From that music, you learn about funk, you learn about blues, you learn about everything. Gospel playing. I mean, Ralph Armstrong's pretty much a gospel bass player. And I didn't realize that until some years ago. Right. Until you kind of go back and you listen, you go, shit, he's actually playing all that stuff. So yeah, and from that music, I learned how to move my hand, my left hand. I learned how to change key. I learned to appreciate different keys and different things. But it's funny how, students that I have, or some students that I have, I just tell them to learn the major scale, tell them to learn I told him to learn that because out of that comes everything, basically, so it's funny because when you're learning music or you're learning about notes, you can get very easily misled or confused, right. and it can lead you on a path where you can get frustrated, I guess, in a way, because if you have the wrong information, it could all be a bit too overwhelming.
Okay.
too many things
Yeah.
to grasp.
Keep it simple, eh?
Keep it simple.
Yep.
So it's good to have to find a someone that really knows what they're doing to give you simple guidance.
Yep.
And the good thing about that my dad did is that he gave me simple guidance.
Mhm.
He never. This was the only musical lesson here. Those are the only notes he taught me. Everything else was listen.
Yep.
Everything else was that was it. That was all he taught me, man. And you know, it's hard to teach your kids.
Yeah.
I can understand that, you know. But I think there was a lot of example. There's a lot of lessons in music, and music has taught me everything that I could possibly imagine. And that was through the 80s. So the 80s, I fell in love with synth bass.
Yep.
You know,
Yep.
I fell in love with all that synth bass stuff, man. Damn, you know.
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, it's so cool. It's the funkiest sound in the planet.
Yeah.
Come on. You know, I fell in love with that, and I wanted to play like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to play bass like that. And then I heard Marcus Miller. That was a turn on.
Mm-hmm.
That turned me on, because that was a cool sound.
Yeah.
He's got a cool sound.
Yeah.
He had a cool sound.
Yep.
He still has a cool sound.
Yep.
But as you grow older, you kind of learn to realize that you can't use that cool sound in everything.
Yeah, that's right.
Which is a shame.
Yeah.
But I practiced along to his playing a lot.
Yep.
A lot. And Miles Davis came in the picture. And then Miles Davis came in the picture, and he fucked me up.
Yeah.
He messed me up.
Yeah. Messed a lot of people up. I
Miles
think.
Davis really messed me up. He really messed me up, because Jean-Luc Ponty would he teaches you melody. Jean-Luc Ponty teaches you how to hold a melody, how to hold a note against what's happening underneath. He teaches you that. His music is simple. You would say almost easy listening music. But it has a trip. It has a journey. It takes you on a journey. If you let it take you on a journey, it will take you on a journey. His music's very it's airy, it's fresh. Mm-hmm. I can't listen to all these guys all the time. Mm-hmm. But this is just what I get out of his music. And Miles Davis, the way he plays is it's interesting, because the way he uses notes, it's you know. You hear Miles straight away.
Yeah.
That's Miles.
Yeah.
I mean, that's not him, but
Yeah,
that's
it's
the air of Miles.
I gotcha.
You know, and that really messed me up, mm-hmm. because it's just the dissonance, the complete dissonance of. You know. That's
not what you think's going to happen.
It's not what you think's going to happen, and it's really it's beautiful.
Yeah,
it's a beautiful thing,
yeah.
Because it's completely beautiful.
Yeah.
It just is, and the way his tone, he makes the trumpet sound like not a trumpet.
Yep.
He makes the trumpet, even when without the mute, it doesn't sound like a trumpet. You know it's a trumpet, but it doesn't sound like a trumpet. Mm. So I discovered Miles Davis, and Miles Davis is, to me, Miles Davis is the pinnacle of the whole shit, basically, because from him came everyone else I mentioned previously, mm-hmm. and forward. I mean, his influence in music is so deep that even back in 1991, when he passed away, he influenced rap music. Mm-hmm. The album, the Doo-Bop. I mean, shit, that's a hip hop rap album, you know, and he was all over that. So, yeah, very, very inspiring. And all the musicians that basically play with him
Yep.
have inspired me. And I've been lucky enough to have some of those musicians as friends of mine, you know. I've been fortunate enough to have played with some of the musicians that have played with him. I've been, you know, and these are blessings, and you know, things like that. You know, it's amazing what can happen.
Playing with your heroes, you know.
But yeah, you get sometimes you get lucky. Sometimes you can get to play with your heroes. Sometimes you can just have a conversation with one of them.
Yeah,
that's enough.
That's all you need. Yeah,
that's all you need. You just need something, a moment to happen.
Yep.
You know, that will inspire, that will change your life, because we're in Australia.
Yeah.
We're in Australia, and in Australia we have us.
Yeah.
We have us. You know, we have many great musicians here, and like there is all over the planet. There's many great musicians, but only a few get nice opportunities.
Yeah.
Only a few, and I mean it takes a lot of work to become a part of that few.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
And you know, you have
Just
to
dedication.
a lot of dedication, man. A lot of hours. You got to put in a lot of hours, a lot of work, and. But yeah, I mean, gig life, right? This is the podcast of gig life.
Yes, man.
Gig life. So
let's talk a little bit about. You came to Australia when you were 10. At what stage in your playing did you start playing with other musicians? And
back in 1990, 90, maybe close to 91, 1991. My first performance was in my primary school. In my primary school, where I was learning English, I played in front of the school kids there, and that was my first performance. And that's a very, very nice memory that I have. I think that they are going to. That's very nice. Put it. It's a very nice memory to have. But my first band was with my brother, my elder brother. He's a guitar player. He's a producer. And he.
That's Andrew's your oldest brother. Okay.
Andrew, yeah. He formed a band, and and I was included in it. I played bass with another friend of ours, and we played for a few years together, and we did gigs. So I became professional, like when I was about probably 11 years old.
Oh, fantastic!
So it was pretty funny.
Yeah.
And we were playing jazz fusion orientated music.
Yep.
With rock.
Yeah.
You know, funny, but that's what we were doing for kids. You know, it was pretty interesting, and having audiences and people coming up to you and, wow, you know, that's great, and this and that, giving you the nice compliments. You know, all that stuff is good, but at the same time, it was so bad for me because I didn't have anyone telling me that what I was doing was what I was doing wrong. I had people giving me compliments. I didn't have anyone telling me, giving me the truth.
Yeah.
I needed to hear the truth.
Yeah.
That would have helped a lot.
Yeah.
Because the truth would have saved me a lot of years of
relearning.
Yeah. And researching and reality checks. You know, because I grew up, as I said, with that kind of playing.
Yep.
The fast playing, the lots of notes playing.
Yep.
I grew up with that stuff. I grew up also playing along to groovy players like Marcus and groovy music like Miles Davis's music.
Yeah.
Had a lot of pocket, go-go beat and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
You know, but stepping into, and then my first few gigs, like working outside that ensemble, were Latin gigs. So I stepped into Latin music, and that was a smack in the face. Latin music is extremely difficult to play. Afro-Cuban music, I'm talking about. Or New York salsa as well. Very difficult to play that stuff. Very difficult. As a matter of fact, it's still difficult today. You know, and it's a challenge. Anybody that says that it's easy. Yeah, I want to kill it.
It's just yeah.
I want to kill it.
Yeah.
It's hard to play that stuff.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, that was my first intro to playing in ensembles outside having my brother in it or my dad. So I did that for a few years, and then I started doing gigs, pop gigs, with different bands. I think stuff like that, and I'm still doing those things.
Yeah.
I'm still there.
Yeah.
Because we're in Australia.
Yeah.
And those people that I've worked with in the past then are still
here now.
Still here now.
Yeah.
Still my friends now.
Yeah.
But we had an ensemble with my father, a trio, a guitar trio. We still got it, more or less. And
Yeah, I see that pop up every now and then.
every now and then, yeah, we still have that. We don't gig with that a lot, but 10 plus years ago, we did a lot of support acts, a lot of traveling, a lot of work with that, and we supported the biggest names in the world, artist wise. I can't remember who we did, but we did a lot of them.
Yep.
And incredible experience, man, meeting all these amazing people, you know, playing, and it's been like that for a long time.
Yep.
Just playing with a lot of great people, man.
Yeah, yeah.
A lot of Australian artists too. That.
I mean, you're a busy dude, man.
I choose to be busy sometimes.
Yeah, yeah.
Sometimes we're not busy, man. Sometimes comes Friday, Saturday night, it's like, oh shit, I haven't got a gig.
Oh, right, yeah.
And it happens.
Yeah.
It happens. Everybody's got their players.
Yeah. Yep.
Everyone has their players they call,
Yes.
And the pinnacle of gigging, something that happened which was really, really, really cool. I mean, throughout all the years, a lot of cool things have happened, man. A lot of great moments playing with different people, and we've been associated with just incredible musicians all over town and around the world. Great people that come here, and all that stuff. I got asked to put got asked to put a band together for a show that was going to happen in Italy, which didn't happen in Italy, but this happened in Los Angeles instead, and this show was great. I took Andrew and Buddy, who you've spoken to,
Last
right?
week, yeah.
Yeah, and we went to Los Angeles and we played for this incredible array of artists, man.
Was this
George Benson?
George Benson? Yeah, I saw the photos.
Yeah, that was cool. And Greg Fillinganes.
Fillinganes, keyboard player.
And
I saw him live with Toto.
Yeah.
At the Metro years ago. He just walked out, man, and just went like this, and arms out like this.
He's got an incredible vibe about him.
Yeah.
Man. He's a friendly dude, very cool guy.
Yeah.
Just really, really cool guy.
Yeah, that's cool.
But there was a really special thing that happened that during one of George Benson's tunes. This is at the end of the concert. There's a breakdown. Everything breaks down, and introductions start to happen. They start introducing the band, and this introduction, I added during rehearsals. We started getting warmed up to playing these songs. 2 weeks, man, we were playing, and I added this note, this thing, to this groove. I just did it. The musical director goes, "Oh, we like that. Let's keep that note." Okay, cool. So that note was kept as part of the arrangement for George Benson's song, right? I thought, wow, that's pretty cool. And then we had to come up with an outro for the whole concert. So I started playing this groove, and the groove stayed. And that was the groove that, and I thought, shit, man, I did that.
You did that. They followed me, man.
Actually, that's my shit there.
George Benson's going, hey, man, what you doing
that was
there?
incredible, man. What an incredible
Awesome.
trip. So we made some good friends.
That's great.
Made some very, very, very cool friends, man.
Yeah.
But I get wild all the time when I see people, man, here in Australia. And I've had the great pleasure because now I'm playing, I've been getting around playing drums
Yeah, I've seen.
And I've had the great pleasure of playing with bass players.
Yeah. You know, one thing I noticed about the videos you've been putting up, when you're playing cross stick, your fingers are doing this. I don't know if you notice you're doing
Oh,
it.
yeah. I know.
Yeah. And is that a
No.
is that a bass player thing?
No. That's just adding.
Sorry, you can't see what I'm doing, but
that's adding subdivision to the cross stick.
yeah, but with your fingers. With your fingers on the
Yes.
snare, on the head of the snare, yeah. You can't hear it, but you can see it, and I'm fascinated by it. Watching your hand going. As you're cross sticking, it's awesome, man.
No, I'm just aware that it keeps you in the keeps you grooving.
Yeah.
You still it's like
subdividing that.
Yeah,
slow tempo. Yeah,
that's right. It's like adding the snare, a single snare hit with the stick.
Instead of going one ear and two ear in your head.
You hit it, but you're adding subdivision with the stick. You're adding subdivision with your fingers.
Fingers, yeah, that's cool.
It's nothing new. I mean,
Yeah.
I've seen a few drummers do that.
Yeah. Oh, you mean ghost noting?
You're ghost noting.
Yeah, right.
Ghost noting. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, you can get tricky and start doing rolls and shit with your fingers.
Yeah.
You know, that's some other shit.
Yeah.
I think I've done that once or twice and gone, you know.
Yeah.
But it's not something that I think, you know.
Yeah.
I love the drums, man.
Awesome.
The drums are something.
Yeah.
That's something else. Nothing feels quite like the drums.
Yep.
You know, it's a great feeling. The guitar is relaxing.
Yeah.
I touch it and I get lost in harmony.
Yeah.
I get lost in the sound of harmony. It's beautiful, you know. You know, but the drum is something else. It's you got this thing that you're kicking with your foot, and it rebounds back. You know, and it's a funny thing. The way you tune it is how it's going to react.
That's right.
The snare, the way you tune it is how it's going to react, and it becomes your voice. It becomes your sound. It becomes your thing. It's very personal, and it's in a lot of ways it's a lot more personal than a guitar or a bass. The bass guitar is very. I want to clarify something though first before is that I play these other instruments because I love them.
Yeah.
You know, it's an extension of your musicality.
Understand.
That's why people do it.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't want to be a multi-instrumentalist. That's not my goal. I don't want that. I don't find that to be actually appealing.
Well, you are. So
well,
you realise that, eh?
I am, but I'm
Very
not
much so.
because they are. Look, the instruments that I'm learning to play, they're pretty primary instruments.
Okay.
Within an ensemble, they're primary. It's not like I'm going to play a flute,
All right.
and then I'm going to play a xylophone. You know, these are primary instruments: a drum kit, guitar, a bass. You know, I'm trying to play a bit of keyboards. You know, I mean. You know, these are primary instruments that you just have to know, and I think the better you understand how these instruments work, is the better you're going to be able to communicate to other musicians. Yeah, we're able to, like Prince.
Right.
Prince would tell each musician how to do their thing, and he could probably do it better than they could. Yeah. Right.
That's right.
But you know, and I know people that work with Prince that you know he was his own man, you know. It was Prince World, man.
Yeah.
You know, and yeah, that's another cat that's amazing. Was amazing, you know. It's funny the way things have turned now. Those 3 gigs a night, they ain't happening anymore.
Yeah.
It's just it comes 9 o'clock and you ain't got a gig. Too bad.
Right.
There ain't no other gig.
Yeah.
You know. Yeah, man. Music's it's an incredible thing.
It is.
Takes us on a big journey, big
Sure
trip.
does.
And you've interviewed some pretty amazing people.
Yeah, man, and it's cool. It's you guys have been very receptive to it, and it's about time, you know, you guys' stories get told, you know.
It's the best thing that's happened in a long time.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Cool.
There's so many great artists here in this country.
Yeah.
That around the planet people don't know of.
That's right. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
And it's a shame. It's a real shame.
Yeah.
Because there's great players here, man. And even when I went to America, man, the land of amazing musicians, which There's so many amazing musicians there. Incredible.
Yeah.
But I got to tell you, man, I saw a lot of chopping out.
Yep.
And in
Pocket
Australia,
it's pocket and groove here, man. Yeah.
in Australia, it's all about the pocket.
Yeah. Yep.
Australia's all about the pocket. And that's what I really made me appreciate. A lot of that stuff made me appreciate a lot of cats here. Because I was there thinking, shit, man, where's the pocket in this fucking music? Where's the pocket in this music? It's all about the snare drum. And I'm listening to this shit. I'm listening to these people hitting. These drummers, which are amazing. They're hitting so fucking hard on that snare drum. It's like, you're so selfish.
Yeah.
You are such a selfish musician.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got great skills and you're famous, but you're a selfish motherfucker for playing like that. You're selfish. You're selfish because it's all about you. It's all about your snare drum.
Yeah.
And, you know, I hate that shit. I hate selfish musicians. I hate them. I hate it. Absolutely hate. And I say the word hate. It's a strong word.
It is, yeah.
And people say, "Are you sure you?" Yeah, I say hate because I hate that shit. I like musicians that are considerate, that are in the music. They think about everything else. That was my example growing up. My example was the greatest musicians in the world. And when I don't hear the greatest musicians in the world coming out of musicians, it hurts. Because that's what you're used to. So it's really hard to accept that kind of shit. Because it's rubbish.
Yep.
That is complete rubbish, you know. And people get wild about all this fast playing shit.
Yeah.
They get impressed with the hard hitting guy. They get impressed with the fast slapping. They get impressed with all that shit. But man, you put that guy in a band and he can't groove. What happened there?
Man, my computer's playing up, eh? It just turns on and off.
Well, you know, it's probably a good cue to shut the fuck up from that segment.
Excuse me, I've got to turn it off.
It's alright.
Yeah.
That's basically what
Sorry about that.
It's alright.
Yeah, that was like almost like the Windows sound.
Yeah, so it's really hard to find that group of musicians that you can play with.
Yep.
That understand you.
Yep.
That are in the same wavelength.
Yep.
And you know, that get music.
Yep.
That get music. Because playing music is not about how fast you can play. I was watching a video a couple of nights ago of this drummer that gets a lot of rap, a lot of talk about. And believe me, he's a fast motherfucker when he plays drums. And he's strong. During his drum solo, I laughed out loud, man, when I heard this shit, because during his drum solo, he's going so fast and playing everything as quick as possible, and you're going, shit, man, that's hard to do. To play that fast, it's hard to do, and to be that accurate, it's very hard to do. During his drum solo, he stepped to his second snare drum, which is tuned low, and started doing this groove, just a pocket groove, and that shit didn't sound good.
Oh, no?
It didn't sound good. His pocket didn't sound good. And I laughed out loud. I went, you spend so much time being that dude, that when it comes to actually playing music, you can't do it. That to me is mesmerizing, bro. People are confused. And it's a headspace. Playing music, playing an instrument, it doesn't matter your skill level. It's what's in your head. It's your headspace. Because your headspace is what's going to make you a great player. It's your headspace. You know, when can you add that note? Can I add this crash cymbal here? Should I add the crash cymbal here? It's coming into a verse. Should I crash the verse? The cymbal it's like an orchestral instrument. The drum's an orchestral instrument. And that cymbal should be used for a big statement.
Yeah.
It's a statement.
Yep.
Right? And people need to listen to a lot of music and listen to great musicians, great music. I heard the other night a death metal band playing the hardest shit. I mean, these guys, you know, with their kick drum where it's tuned, yeah, and it sounds like a fucking machine gun.
It does, yeah.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
Satanic shit.
Yeah.
I love it, bro.
And it can be very melodic.
Oh man!
Yeah.
And this guy,
drum wise.
this singer, he does these pig squeals. You know the pig squeals. You know.
Yes.
He does this pig squeal, and he's squealing and squealing, and then he goes low like he's fucking death. You know. Oh man, and just like it's nothing more powerful than that.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, I love all kinds of vocalists. I love opera singers. I love Kim Burrell. I love this. You know, blah blah blah. You know, so, and that's hard to do.
Yeah.
That's really hard to do. And that kind of playing is incredible. I mean,
Yeah.
I heard some of the most beautiful. I heard this beautiful guitar solo. I can't remember what band it was. Same thing. Death metal, the most hardcore death metal, and this beautiful guitar solo on top. And the guy's just like, he's holding these notes. And, you know, oh man. No, that's good music is good music.
Yeah.
No matter what genre, what style, what era, and you know. There's so much good music, man.
Yeah.
You know, music from Africa, the Middle East.
Yeah.
You know, Indonesia.
Yeah.
My God, have you heard some Indonesian music?
Yeah, yes.
Holy shit! I mean, in Bandung, they got this thing called J-pong. Man, and and in Bali, the kacha, I think it's called kacha. God damn, it's so full on, man. And then we got our music here. We got, you know, Aboriginal music, which is, people don't touch it. Not many people go near it. But that's beautiful stuff, man. You know, and all countries have variations of their style of music. That they have the way they play, blah blah blah. It's incredible, and you feel it in. Even going from Sydney to Melbourne, the cats in Melbourne play different as well. They got a thing about them. I love the way they play. A lot of cats in Melbourne, great musicians, you know. And in San Francisco, the drummers in San Francisco, they sound different to the drummers in Los Angeles.
Who's some of the drummers?
New York.
Who's some of the drummers that come out of
San Francisco?
Yeah.
Oh man, my hero, Mike Clark.
Ah.
Holy shit, Mike Clark, bro. God. Headhunters. Garibaldi, San Francisco. They sound different. In my opinion, honest opinion, in San Francisco they got the funkiest drummers in the world.
Yeah. Right.
They are funky. I mean, apart from the cats, some cats that are here. Obviously, one of my favorite, which is Buddy Ciola.
Oh.
You know, he's disgusting.
Yeah.
When I hear him play, I feel like kicking him in the balls. You know? Like hard. When I heard him play the first time, you know, I was in shock.
Yeah.
But he's one of the great drummers that we have here in this country. And there's a lot of great drummers that are here. I mean, I also got to be biased because I got to work with him a lot.
Yeah.
You know. But I'm not biased at all, actually. There's too many guys here. In the Latin scene too, there's some amazing drummers.
Yeah.
You know. And I admire them a lot. The force that they have, I say there's probably four amazing Latin drummers here.
Yep.
4 in the whole country.
Do you want to name them?
No.
Okay. That's fair enough.
No, I don't want to
Yeah.
get in trouble. But they know who they are.
Yeah.
They know who they are. And they're all from here.
Yeah. I think I know a couple of them. Are.
You know who a couple of them are.
Yep.
They're all from here. And they're the most amazing drummers.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a common conversation that you have with people, versatile musicians. You know, it's hard to find versatile musicians because the Afro-Cuban thing or the Latin percussion, which is a huge world. It's such a huge world. I mean, every country's got their rhythms and styles and genres within that style and the history of that rhythm and it traces back to here. It's a huge world. That's why, I mean, I started doing gigs when I was 15 or 16 with Latin bands.
Yep.
And you know what, man? Till now, I'm 39 years old. It's still kicking my ass. So it's not something that's it's not a light thing that you learn a clave, you learn a montuno, and that's it. Forget it. If you got that head in your that kind of thinking, forget it. That thing's deep. That thing's deeper than. I say it's deeper than jazz, and it is deep. Actually, it is deeper than jazz. It is. It's way deeper than jazz. You know, jazz borrows from Afro-Cuban and Brazilian music. You know, classical music it's something else as well. I mean, you know, then you got Spanish music from Spain. You know, African music. I've been exposed to a lot of African music, and then you got Lebanese. You know, Arabic music, and that beat. You know, the Arabic beat. You know that, right? You don't know it?
No.
It's
Right.
right?
Yeah.
That beat. that is the most powerful beat in the planet. Without a doubt. And I've heard a lot of music. I've heard a lot of beats. I've heard a lot of powerful beats. But that is the most powerful beat in the planet. The most powerful beat in the planet. You cannot fuck with that beat. And the Brazilian groove, like the samba, it's pretty close. Pretty close. But the Arabic beat is by far the most powerful beat in the planet. That thing is tremendous. That thing is tremendous. You have other beats which are from Guinea, you know, or you know, Nigeria. They're a bit more heady. They're more clever. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of mixed rhythms. But this other thing is brutal. This other thing is that it's got syncopation, it's got space.
Yeah.
And each hit is so powerful, it gives you time to recover from the last hit. That's why it's so brutal, that beat.
That's explained really well.
And it's not the Brazilian thing is there's too much anchoring you down.
Gotcha.
There's an anchor to that. But this other thing is like rest, boom. Holy shit. Boom, 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 boom. Come on. You know. And then you got this other stuff, which is the stuff I was saying before from Indonesia. The J-bomb. Now, I cannot play a single beat of that. I don't know how they count it, how that thing works. All I know is they have a bass, they have harmony, they have a melody, and then they got this rhythm and tempo that starts very slow, purposely speeds up to an incredible speed, and it drops down again. Tempo.
And everyone's on it.
Every motherfucker in the band, everyone dancing is on it. Now that's hard.
Yeah.
I don't get it.
You don't get it.
I don't get that music. That music, I mean, I don't get it. I get it, I know nothing about it,
Right.
but I love it.
Yeah.
And that's some other stuff. I mean, and it's funny, man. Tracing back to Chilean traditional rhythms. I had this master percussionist trace back Chilean traditional rhythms to Morocco. And I mean, broken down, this one master percussionist breaking down the rhythms to another master percussionist who knew about music from Morocco. And he said, "Yeah, that's this. That's what this part does, and that's what this." I wrote all the stuff down somewhere in a book. And yeah, man, it's music is an incredible journey. You know, if you get introduced to the right people, or you're open enough to accept information, your mind will be blown away. You know, you can't get stuck on one style. I think that's a crime. You owe it to yourself and you owe it to your people. And I tell young musicians, because if I see a young musician playing too much shit, I tell him. Like I wasn't told.
Yeah, I was about to say that. Yeah.
I tell them the truth.
Yep.
Because they owe it to themselves. They owe it to the music industry. They owe it to their heroes. And they owe it to the people that are going to be looking at them. The kids that are going to be watching them play in the future. Because they're giving the wrong message out to a lot of people. And that's the problem with these young star musicians that are out now. A lot of them.
I was going to ask you.
They're playing too much shit.
Yeah, what I was going to
There's
ask
too
you.
much shit.
What your thoughts are on the new breed of musicians?
No, they're playing too much shit. They're playing too much shit, and I admire that they can play all that stuff. Because it is hard to play all that music is hard to play.
Yeah.
But they're giving the wrong message out to a lot of people that don't understand that stuff. They only see that and they only hear that and they think that that's how they should play.
Yeah.
No, that's not how you should play. That's not how you should play. You know.
Play rock with you for me.
Yeah.
Hey guy, play rock. Taka 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 taka.
Well, yeah.
Can you?
I've never heard that bit played right.
Yeah.
And I've never heard. I've never heard those kick drum hits that happen in the happen towards in the bridge of the song.
Yeah.
There's extra kick drums.
Yeah. Yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah.
Which is essential in that song.
Yeah.
Now I've learned the bass line. I think I learned it back when I was, 16 or maybe before. I learned that bass line.
Yeah.
Note for note, I learned it. Over the years, I forgot how to play it. I play my own shit now.
Yeah.
Or close to the bass line.
Was it Lewis Johnson that?
I have no idea.
Yeah. Okay.
I have no idea. But even that, even what do you call it? Another song that people mess up. Bass players mess this up because it's Billie Jean.
Yeah. Yeah.
People put an octave pedal. It sounds fucking horrible. I hate it. It sounds horrible, bro.
Yeah.
It sounds horrible.
Yeah.
Bass players put an octave because they don't know, but it's quite simple. It's in F sharp.
Yeah.
Right, so. And that's what it is.
That's Lewis Johnson. I know that.
I think that's
It is Lewis
yeah,
Johnson.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think he explained it in a
Yeah.
video, and I saw him.
Oh, right, okay.
So it was.
Yeah.
But I'm not here to teach him Michael Jackson song.
No, it's what.
But yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that is actually very tricky bass line to play.
Yeah.
Very tricky to play, and you would say that it's kind of simple, but it's very tricky because you got the accent, boom, boom, boom. That's the accent, and that's the accent throughout the whole song. Octaves on those two notes. Boom, That's tricky to play. Yeah, but that's my opinion of this. What's happening now? Kata mixing style. See that the whole style of playing the drum too, which you've heard, which is trendy to play back. behind the beat, not on the beat,
Mm.
not it's they're playing behind them. They go boom, boom.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Almost adding a
They're like
a delay.
like a delay
Yeah.
out
Yeah.
of time kind of playing.
Yeah,
That's a New York thing.
it is. Yeah.
And a lot of cats are doing it in
Yeah.
the wrong place at the wrong time at the wrong gig, and a lot of cats are doing that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And it's cool there. It's not cool here.
Mm.
In America, that's cool.
Yeah.
In Australia doesn't like that. Australia likes the pocket to be laid down.
Yep.
Australia likes the pocket laid down. That's
Yep.
why there's great drummers that are still gigging, that are doing a lot of gigs here, because they're laying it down.
Mm-hmm.
They're laying it down, you know, and that's what's always gonna. There's nothing's gonna feel better than a good solid pocket. Nothing gonna feel better than that, you know. And I've learned that throughout the years. I've learned that, you know. It's taken me a long time to learn that.
Yeah.
You know, I came out of jazz fusion, remember?
Yeah.
You know, so
I noticed a comment you'd written on a Facebook post a couple of weeks ago, saying you went through a stage where you weren't enjoying playing live,
I hated
and
it.
now you're
I
enjoying
hated it.
Yep. So can you explain why that is and what's changed?
Okay. I'm very sensitive to sound. I'm extremely sensitive to sound. I learned about sound because the truth of sound was exposed to me. This might sound funny, actually, but I was friends. This man passed away. His name was Augustus Owsley Stanley III. His nickname was Bear, and he was the reason behind the success of pretty much, or the funding and success of the Grateful Dead. You know, and he taught me a lot about sound. He taught me about pure sound, about pure sound, sonic waveform, not what we can see on a computer screen, but actual appreciating pure sound. So I became so sensitive to that, and my understanding of that has really grown. Also, what happens is when you spend a lot of time practicing or playing at home, just playing, practicing. There's a big difference between practicing and playing. So when you spend time doing both, for instance, and studying your instrument, you become so sensitive. Also, when you're a composer, when you write music, your headspace somewhere else. You're constantly thinking of composition. See, when you're in a jam session and people start playing, that's a composition. A lot of people don't approach it like that. People approach a jam session like it's any noise is good noise. That's not how it is. It's actually more important, and it's harder to do than playing a fucking song.
Mm-hmm.
It's harder to make music, spontaneous music, on the spot than to play a song that's pre-written, learned bar by bar. That shit's not impressive anymore. I'm not impressed with that stuff. You know, it's good people are transcribing. You see people online transcribing John Coltrane's solos.
Yep.
It's impressive that they did that. That's great. But any motherfucker can do that. To actually create a piece of music out of nothing, on the spot, and make it work, make it sound right, that is harder to do. That takes intuition, that takes a lot of creativity, and that takes a lot of guts, takes a lot of trust, and you have to be completely 100% in and aware in the music. So I stopped liking playing live because I was hearing all that. I was hearing selfishness. I was hearing non-musical inputs. I was hearing people going through the motions. For whatever reasons. I've done gigs where I've gone through the motions too.
Yep.
I've played gigs and I've been dead. Yeah. Yeah. Can't wait to get home, man. I can't wait to leave. I just want to get out of here.
Gotcha.
I hate playing that kind of stuff. I hate playing like that, in that headspace. So, and when music just becomes about money, I wish I wasn't in the music industry at all. I wish I never did a gig ever again, because I don't want to play music for money. I didn't start playing music for money. You know, I hate playing music for money. I think it's a great way of making money.
Yeah.
It's fucking an incredible way of making money. The hardest thing about playing live, sometimes it's actually playing the gig. The hardest thing about playing live should be parking your car. That should be the hardest thing to do. You know, that should be the toughest thing about it. Because, and I love setting up, man.
Yeah.
I love plugging cables.
Yeah, yeah.
I love amplifiers.
Yeah.
I love cables.
Choosing your rigs at
I
home.
love choosing what I'm gonna take. I love mixing, matching the right instrument with the right blah blah blah.
Yeah.
I do all this stuff at home. I do it a lot.
Yeah.
Just for fun. Set up shit, strip things down.
Yeah.
Come up with a rig that I can imagine.
Yeah.
When I use, strip it back down.
Yeah.
And then you think to yourself, where am I going to take this? What gig am I going to play it at? And then you go to the gig, and who's your audience? Your audience is a bunch of people, workers, that are getting pissed in front of you. And they're requesting song after song, they're screaming, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that's all fun if you're in the right headspace for that stuff.
Yeah.
And if you got a thick skin to accept that as part of your job. I've accepted all that, and I have in the past, but it came for a period of time where I hated all that stuff. I still hate it, but you know, this is part of my job, so I've learned to accept all that. As I said, so when you're thinking of composition all the time, when you're thinking of rhythm all the time, and you're breaking down rhythms, and you're thinking about it in a mathematical form, and the reason why I say mathematical form, because I have a guru who's an Indian tabla master, and he's my guru, and I've learned about rhythm in that side of the world as well, and that's all dealing with mathematics.
Yeah.
So when you're thinking about everything like you're hearing all this in your head all the time, and you can break down rhythms to and you're hearing everything in between, and you hear all the mess. There's a lot of gap there, man. You know. There's a lot of gap there and swing. You start to hear the swing, the way it can shift this way. If you swing that note a bit, blah, 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 blah. And I'm at home practicing. I grab the bass and I want to play, and I start playing something. And I think to myself, where am I going to play this kind of bass playing? Where can I play this kind of bass playing when my gig requires me to play these songs? I can't play like that anywhere. I can't play like this anyway. So I started developing this new technique, playing bass, for me, just so I can be happy about playing bass.
Yep.
I started playing with my thumb, right on the neck, almost. So. And guess what? I'm really enjoying that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm really enjoying that because it's taken me back to even a more simpler form of playing, a more simpler technique of playing, and I'm applying that technique in everything now, because instead of me using my index finger, there's so much effort involved in that.
Yeah.
I'm using my thumb now. And I'm enjoying that a lot.
Yeah.
So, a lot of the techniques that you practice at home, they're not needed at the gig.
Yeah.
And that's what I mean by musicians. You need to be in the right headspace.
Headspace, yep.
The right headspace to go and do those gigs, and to go and play music with people. Because if you're in the wrong headspace, you're gonna have a bad time. You're gonna have a very, very bad, very, very, very bad time. Comes to luck as well. You know, if you're one of those few lucky musicians that are always getting called for gigs, man, you're gonna be in the right headspace. Because guess what? You're getting called for gigs all the time.
Mm-hmm.
They're not necessarily the greatest players either. And there's a lot of those around. I'm not going to name any names.
No.
But, consider yourself lucky. Because people like your vibe. That's what it comes down to. It's your vibe, it's your personality, it's your... do you smell? People... Man, there's so many motherfuckers out there that stink. Like they don't have showers, all that kind of stuff. So there's a lot that comes down to it, man. There's a lot that comes down to it. Being a giggy musician.
Yeah.
You gotta have your gear together. You gotta have your spares. You gotta be on time.
Yep.
So many fuckers run late. So many musicians run late.
The old adage, be on time, know your shit, don't be a dick.
That's it.
That's it.
Three.
The three fucking
Yeah.
golden rules,
Well,
man.
that's it.
That's it.
That's
There's
it.
nothing else.
There is.
Yeah.
That's it. That's it. And you gotta try and do your best.
Yep.
That's it. And don't let people take advantage of you.
Yeah.
Don't let people run you over. Doesn't matter who they are. You gotta stay aware. Sometimes could be your best friend that does you over. And you gotta be careful. In this scene, you gotta be careful, because you piss one person off, that person will tell somebody else that he got pissed off with you because he wants to have something to talk about at a corporate gig in a table full of musicians who know you. So you got to be careful what you do in this industry. This industry can drop you immediately.
Yep.
It's a hard industry. I did 2 years of cruising, man. 2 years of cruise ships.
Yep.
In and out cruise ships. Not 2 years in a cruise ship.
Yeah, I know it. Yeah.
In and out.
Yep.
Within those 2 years, my gig flow, I lost every gig I had.
When you came back, you mean?
I lost every gig I had.
Yep.
Every single gig I had, I lost.
Just because you weren't there.
I wasn't around. They need people to do the gig.
Yep.
These days, guess what? These days, it's the duet. Band gigs, not many. There's a few bands that play around. There's a few bands.
Yeah.
I'm fortunate to be playing with a few of those bands.
Yeah.
I get called sometimes last minute.
Yeah.
To play. Just this Friday, this last minute call. But that's why I've been playing drums.
Yeah.
It's because I need to keep
You
working.
need to work, yeah.
Playing bass, just bass.
Yep.
That's hard. That's hard. Playing just bass is hard. I love playing bass, but the bass pisses me off. The bass, sonically, the bass pisses me off.
Right, okay.
The bass is disappointing. The bass guitar is a disappointment for me, because I hear the complete harmonic construction of a note. I have tinnitus in one ear, okay, but I hear all the harmonics that run in this note. I don't hear them by definition, but I can hear the harmonics.
Yeah.
If all good musicians that do that, or producers can do that, they can hear that. And it's so disappointing when you play a note on your instrument and that note does not do what that note's meant to do.
Yeah, I gotcha.
That is so disappointing.
Right.
And you pick one up and you go, it's doing it again. And you pick another one up, and you're doing it again. You pick another one, you know, and they all do it in different places. And the difference is, you grab a snare drum, doesn't matter what fucking snare drum it is.
Yeah.
You hit that motherfucker, it's gonna sound like a snare drum.
Yep.
And it's gonna sound good. It doesn't matter what snare drum it is. Tune it up, down, whatever you want. You can muffle it, you can do this, you can do that, change the skin, blah, 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 blah. It's gonna sound great. You know? That's the thing about the drum that's very satisfying. It's versatility. And that's the dream.
Yeah.
For bass guitar, for me, that's the dream. The dream is to have the speaker configuration, the bass, the correct wood or whatever material. There's so many problems with technical problems with the bass.
Yep.
That they still haven't been fixed or addressed.
Mm-hmm.
You know, construction wise, there's a lot of problems with the bass guitar. A lot of problems, and I hope somebody out there can fix them, or somebody is already working. Because if I was an inventor, that would be my first thing would be to try and fix those problems.
Right.
A lot of problems with the bass guitar. So yeah, but the drums are almost, you could say that they're a perfect instrument.
Yeah.
Almost a perfect instrument.
Yeah.
And the most perfect, of course, is the human voice.
You could do so much with one snare drum. I mean, I've got
Yeah.
a few there, and I've got a few others that serve a purpose. But I've got one, and it's a 5-inch brass
Right.
pearl snare drum. And I've had it for years, and it's probably one of the cheapest snares I bought, because I bought it on eBay. And it does fucking everything. That's my go-to, man. You know?
There you
Just
go.
that one drum, you know?
Yeah.
Just, you know, a bit of gel or crank or...
Yeah,
just
the most satisfying bass guitar or bass instrument that I've played is it's the Ampeg Baby bass. Mm-hmm. Ampeg Baby bass. It's an upright. It's an upright bass that I have.
Right.
It's old. It's from the 60s. It's the sound of salsa. Put it that way. Okay, it's that bass.
Okay.
It's the bass that got played in Oye Como Va.
Oh, right.
The
Okay.
Santana, that bass sound. It's that bass sound.
Right.
That is the most satisfying bass sound. Because that bass can only do that.
Right.
It does that really, really well.
Really well, yeah.
And you can open up the pickup and make it sound almost like an upright. And that's very satisfying.
Mm.
You know, that's a satisfying instrument. The note decays immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Doom. It decays almost immediately, every note except for the open strings. Open strings, they ring out. But that is the most. For instance, this guitar, full of problems.
Right.
Guitars are full of problems. Classical guitars are full of problems. You can't tune classical guitars. They're untunable.
Mm.
And so people might argue with me. They go, "Oh, you can tune them." No, you can't tune them. You can't tune them, man. They're imperfect.
Mm-hmm.
That's what makes them beautiful at the same time, is that imperfection. But they're so, they are very hard. That's a fucking hard instrument, man. That is probably harder. That's harder than a bass. In the sense of the how temperamental that instrument is. The strings, man, and the tuning, it goes out of tune hard. I mean, it could be completely tuned here. We disappeared. It could be tuned there, but over here is completely out.
Yeah, yeah.
And what can you do about it? It's the height and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So this setting up your instrument has become it's a vital thing to learn how to do for any musicians. Is to learn how to be hands-on your instrument.
Yep.
Don't give it to somebody to do it for you, unless they know what they're talking about. Unless they know. Yeah. So. That's it. Art. See, drawing, man. People eat every day. We eat every day. You like your coffee with sugar or milk, or you like it with no sugar, or you like it with a bit of sugar, or you like, you know, we all like it in different ways. We all know that if we have a good meal, a nice meal, it's got all these elements, beautiful elements. It's exactly the same in music. Same thing in art. In art, you can throw a couple of lines. The most important thing about any line you throw, that it has to be balanced within the frame. You don't have to fill up every space of the frame. You can fill up the whole page with lines and dots and blah, 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 blah. I've done a few of those, and they're, oh my goodness, I'm still finishing one. I'm still finishing this one. It's about so big. I'm still finishing this one thing, man, and it's full of detail. I mean, it's so exhausting, full of detail, so full on that it's a masterpiece purely because it's so intense. It's not because it's a masterpiece. It's you know, for that purpose, yes, it is. But also the simplest things are so beautiful. You hear chefs talk, great chefs talk. They would like to create the perfect meal with only 3 ingredients. Only, how mind-blowing is that? With just 3 ingredients. And I question this to myself too. Here's another thing. If a pianist or anyone that plays a melodic instrument, if you were given the choice, you have the choice. You take a major key or a minor key. Which one do you choose that will have the most versatility? That's tricky.
Versatility as in
every way. Which one?
Emotion?
No, it's just up to you. And this is a good question to make for yourself. Or which series of notes would you pick that you can cover just about everything? Which series of notes would one pick that you could cover everything? That's something I ask myself a lot. And I found an answer for me that I like. And I think to myself, if that was all I could ever use for the rest of my life, I'll still be happy. I'll be happy because I wouldn't go for a minor key. No, I would go for a major key. And I would go for one note, a semitone, and a tone away. Because those 3 notes, you can move them anywhere. And depending on the root, it could sound minor, it could sound major, it could sound diminished. So I've covered a lot there. That's a lot of music to cover. I mean, the altered, all that stuff, it's a rare sound. But this sound, you can cover a lot with that. So I asked myself, there's a lot of questions that you got to ask yourself, man. You got to keep creating. You keep moving forward. You fall down, you get up again. Like going from that depression of playing live, hating playing live, to actually being energized. I want to play live. I want to keep doing gigs. I love it, and I do love it. I do love it. I love the challenge. I love working with people. I love playing new music. I love having new material to learn.
Yep.
Makes life better, I think, you know. Don't like working with unprofessional people.
Mm-hmm.
They need a kick in the head. Well, not a kick in the head. They need
That'll do.
a wake up. A wake up. They need a wake up.
Yeah.
They need an example. I need a lot of example too. I need a lot of lessons to learn. I've got a lot of lessons to learn, and you just keep going. You got to keep learning, because if you sit back and think that you've done enough, you ain't done nothing, man. You ain't done nothing. It's hard to beat Thriller.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying?
Yep.
It's hard to beat that.
Yep.
It's hard to come close to Quincy Jones.
Yep.
So you gotta stay humble. Try.
On that,
Yeah.
Dauno Martinez, thank you so much for being on the Gig Life
Thank you,
podcast.
man.
Keep doing what you're doing, man, and yeah,
Thank you, bro.
good shit, bro.
Thank you, bro.
Thank you very much, man.
Thank you.
Awesome.
So much.